Welcome, loyal Ravenites, to the Game of the Week. This week's Game of the Week is Streets of Rage 4, as chosen by myself. This audio is an excerpt from episode 26 of the Raven Gaming Squadcast. You can find it on all streaming platforms. Feel free to like and subscribe as we're trying to grow our community, and enjoy. Next topic is Game of the Week. This week's Game of the Week, Streets of Rage 4, was chosen by myself. Thank you very much.
No, thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I saw it come out. I can't be sure if it was one of those funded games. I feel like it was like a Kickstarter project. But Streets of Rage was one of my favorite games growing up. Like playing that with my cousins is that and Street Fighter. I think were the two first games I kind of remember doing co-op, playing with somebody or against somebody in Street Fighter. But yeah, just like in my childhood, I can remember playing that around my cousins all the time. I think what they've done with this is very, very true to form. Like it is Streets of Rage to a T, like to a fault in some places. They haven't added anything. I mean, they have added one thing new. They've added the special moves that obviously takes away health, but then like the similar mechanic in Bloodborne where you can gain health back by hitting your enemy after using that move. I think that's a nice touch. I really like the art style. I've got to be honest, it kind of reminds me of like a moving comic book. The story is outlandish. I like the fact that there's throwbacks to characters in previous games. Not that I can remember their stories now because it's been so long, but it's cool to see them and think, oh, that's the character from that game. I remember fighting him or playing as him. It's a good selection of characters. It's funny to see how they've all changed. Axel now looks like Jamesy Castle, which is absolutely brilliant. He's my favorite character to play as because it reminds you of you, Jamesy. I love you. Anyway, getting back to the game, cooperatively really good. I think there's a learning curve in there as well. You've got to learn certain enemies' attacks. Difficult at times. I'm pretty sure we'll touch on that in a second. But what did you make of it, Gray?
Rage time. So it's to be fair though, we played it for 2 and a bit hours, and we nearly finished the game all the way through, and it was probably one of the funnest times I've had playing a game in a long time. Like we played it through it was just banter. It was so over the top. some crazy moments and some shit that happened which absolutely couldn't control, and I found myself laughing more so than anything else. But then it was like it's an accessible game. You play it through, go from one point to the next point to the next, and you just kind of keep fighting, and you unlock more characters as you can, and then you upgrade when you progress and stuff. And then we got to the last level. Now I was 100% sure that we would absolutely rinse that game and it would be done by the end of that one night. We were like, boom, out of the way, hands clean, dust off, walk away, drop the mic. No, the last fucking level is the hardest thing I have ever. I've played every Dark Souls, every Souls like I could possibly touch. I have played, and this is the hardest thing I've ever played. I don't understand why the last level is so fucking hard. Like it's a good game, okay? So we'll draw it back, right? I'll go away from the rage, I'll go away from the end, right? It's a good game. It's implemented well. The art style's nice. It's quite pretty to look at, and it plays exactly like Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
But I think that the limitations of the technology in the day meant Streets of Rage played in a certain way. And I would have liked to have seen a few more mechanics added in, which made it like you should be able to move a bit faster. There should be. I know there's one character who has a dash, but only one character. And I use her, and I literally couldn't do without that dash because I cannot stand how slow the movement is. And it's the movement more so in the the y-axis, not the vertical axis, not the horizontal axis. Like you can move across the stage quick enough, but trying to move between the vertical axis and trying to figure out where you are in perspective to the enemy, I found myself just standing there punching air. Just nope, okay, try and move down, and you can't move and punch. So you can't like maneuver yourself as you're hitting. So you're trying to move and then you stop and you start punching. Then you have to move, then you punch. And if the enemy's move, kind of moving around, punching thin air. I don't enjoy that, but it was definitely fun, and so over the top, it's unbearable. Like I think it's that handshake was just, it really did it for me. I felt so full of testosterone when that ended. I was like, that's it. I'm gonna go make a baby. And,
that was iconic. It was like that. It was like the scene with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnie,
A bitch.
yeah, exactly. It was literally that in game form, and yeah, it's a good game. We played it through. It's not long by any stretch. It's on Games Pass, so if you want to check it out. Like, it's definitely worth it. It's free. It's not a long game. You're not going to get loads and loads of, like, I don't think there's much replayability. You can obviously unlock the characters, and as we went through, I like the idea of being able to unlock the polygonal pixel sprites, so the old characters. So you obviously unlock them all. And it's cool to see that. That's a wicked feature that they have these stylized animated figures that you use in the normal gameplay, and then you can change out for just a polygonal version of the same person, completely made up of pixels, but it's still in this vibrant animated background. It's quite cool to see, and even the sound effects change. And the special attacks go back to the special attacks from Street Fighter 1 or Street Fighter 2, and I think that is a cool little feature, and I like that. I would have liked to have seen a mode where you could turn it all back into the pixel art, so it just completely turned it back into kind of, keep the pace of the game, keep the story, but just completely pixel art it, all of it pixel, back to that, I think that's even 8-bit, back to the 8-bit gaming that it was,
Yeah.
But it's good. It's hard, but it's good.
No, I think it's spot on. It definitely is hard. I mean, part of me was kind of happy about that, because then there was a difficulty curve in it, and if I was to give this game a rating, and put aside my nostalgic love for the game, I'd it's on Game Pass. It's free to play. That is a big part of it. So I would have to give this game, probably a 7.5, maybe an 8 on a good day. It's one of those games that I would not say it's not similar to Bomberman, but it has a similar pick up and play factor to it. And I think that's what this has sometimes. Of course, you can finish the story, but you could play it through again, could up the difficulty. Just kind of happy to play something from the past, to be fair, and see it revamped and not ruined. I played a reimagining of Mega Man. I can't remember what it was called, and it just changed my perception of it. This didn't do that. This kept that good memory alive, which is the one thing I enjoyed about it more than anything else.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I don't think it's not a game you're going to be playing for the deep narrative lore, and you're not going to be in it for a big time, and you're going to be like, I'm going to play this for about 17 hours and sink days into it and figure out all this nuances. Nah, you're going to play this with your friend, hopefully either on the couch or online. You're going to enjoy yourself. I'd love to see a mode with 4-player co-op. That would be fucking amazing. And I think I even mentioned it before, that I'd love to see the old Golden Axe games and those kind of games brought in the same light. You can imagine Golden Axe, but with anime art style.
Golden Axe would be amazing.
Right? It would work as well, because it's the exact same game. The Golden Axe Street Fighter, same games, had axes or fists. You were just a bearded dwarf or a fucking beefed up bro. As simply as that. I would love to see more of that, more of this vein. And I think that at the moment now, nostalgia is quite high in general with all things. You've got the new Coming to America film just been released. People are in this kind of nostalgic zeitgeist. They're wanting things from the past, but make them a bit nicer. So I'd love to see a few more of those kind of classic arcade games coming back out. And if they just be, they don't have to be huge. They don't have to be big retellings where, they did with Bomberman Act Zero. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh, that was.
Did you play that?
Was that the one where they tried to make it third person and shit?
Yeah, it was a third person action, gritty reboot of Bomberman. Absolutely fucking terrible. But then, remember, we downloaded Bomberman, the actual Bomberman, and we played that for days.
That's fun.
Absolutely amazing. We need to pick that up again.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so, nostalgia-wise, fantastic. Not a long game. You're not in it for the long haul. I will never play it again unless I want to have a bit of a laugh and a bit of bounce. But other than that, I probably won't play it again. Might stream it one day maybe. We'll see if we can actually finish it. I don't think.
Nice. We might have to give it a try and finish it one day.